Welcome back to the Crypto Report. I'm Blacksea and I have another video for you guys. Today I want to talk about Bitcoin and the 4-year cycle. Is it broken, or is there something in the charts that could show that it's not broken? I also want to take a look at some altcoins because we are seeing some big moves as Bitcoin is taking a tumble. So without further ado, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel right now. Let's hop into this video. So guys, right now Bitcoin is trading just barely above $68,000. We have come down from the all-time high that was about $74,000. We were up there for a little bit, but now we're back down to about 68K. But very interestingly, there are some altcoins that are performing very well. Solana has, I think we came up to about $185 amidst yesterday's crash on Bitcoin, which I did say over on Crypto Twitter, if we do see Bitcoin continue to make this move to the downside, and you do see Solana continue to make a move to the upside here, it is an indication that we are seeing a rotational market, which means that you need to probably prepare for some altcoins to make some large moves. So be paying close attention to that, guys. We need to see Solana and some other altcoins hold up, but it is a indication that we're going to start to see that slow shift. But now back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance trading at 51.82% Bitcoin dominance level. When you exclude stablecoins, it's about 53.83, barely down since yesterday. It's around that 54%. We've been kind of pegged there for a couple weeks. I have been saying that I think leading into the halving, you're probably going to see us reach that 57 to 60% Bitcoin dominance level, give or take a few percentiles on each end. But I do think that's an appropriate thing to be looking at because I do think that Bitcoin needs to be in the spotlight in the pre-halving year, but maybe right now we're starting to get away from that. I do want to take a look at this because when you look at this right now, we are breaking back into this 24-day green box that I have, which is basically an indication of the amount of time that in the past we've had to trade around the all-time highs to officially break above the all-time high and hold it. We're back in that box. It could be a little bit longer. We could be trading around this 24 days, or I want to zoom out and talk about more specifically what's happening in the longer term time frames, because the 4-year cycle is broken. The 4-year cycle is broken. We broke all-time highs before the halving. The 4-year cycle is broken. That's what everybody's saying. But what if, when you zoom out here, yes, we are breaking the 4-year cycle because we've broken all-time highs before the halving. But what if we do get our pre-halving correction? What if this is happening right now? When we zoom out here, look at the weekly. What if we do see this correction in the pre-halving? A correction to, say, 59,000. We saw a quick wick to it. But say a 30%, anywhere from a 20% to a 30% correction, because in the previous cycles, that's been the appropriate drawdown. If we were to come down 20%, that brings us to about the 57,000 mark. If we come down 30%, brings us to about 50K, which is an appropriate level. 49,000 is kind of the bottom in my mind of the bull market support band. When you look over at the stock to flow models from Plan B, 49,000 is the level where we shouldn't really see a move below that unless we're not in a bull market, which obviously, based on this trend, we are. But you may say, Blacksea, but we still broke all-time highs, so the 4-year cycle is broken. Well, I'll argue that there are deviations. If we were to see this move to the downside, a quick little spillover, a pre-halving correction to line up very, very closely with the previous cycle, pre-halving years, when we see these drawdowns. Yes, this was the pandemic dump, but we still saw a big correction. You zoom out, we saw a big correction into the halving here back in 2016. I think that if we do see this correction, the 4-year cycle is still intact. Even though we did break previous highs, let's be honest here. There was a lot of hype. It's almost like a black swan event that the Bitcoin spot ETFs got approved. And that sent us higher, faster than we expected. I wasn't expecting all-time highs pre-halving. We floated the idea on the crypto report, but I thought it was a little bit too good to be true. But I did expect that when the Bitcoin SPY ETFs were approved, that we were going to see a large move to the upside, and that's exactly what we got here. So say we did break previous highs. We did in the pre-halving year. If we get a correction here, I think the 4-year cycles are still intact, and I do think that a lot of people in the crypto space, crypto influencers on crypto Twitter, are having a hard time dealing with where we're at in the cycle because they think the 4-year cycle is broken. So they think that everything's off the table. They're starting to say, "Oh, the top is in." The top is in, guys. That sounds crazy. I'll never sell shame anybody for taking some profits. I've taken some profits along the way, but I did get in the bottom of the bear market. But calling for a top right now, I definitely think is very premature. Maybe a local top. A local top would be an appropriate thing to say. I think that a local top more so likely is in, especially if we're seeing these daily candle closes closing below where we're at here. If we see daily candle closes below 68,000, we're probably going to spill over. We're probably going to start to move into more consolidation in the $60,000, maybe even $65,000 price level. And that's okay, guys. That's what we need. That is what we need. A 65,000 price target drawdown from about 74,000, 12% correction. But what we really want to see, if we do want to look for that pre-halving correction, is something like a 20% correction, which would bring us to about $59,000, which we saw this wick to. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if we fill this wick. But I do think that would be an appropriate level to be looking for. In all honesty, it's a good thing if that happens. It's a good thing if we make some consolidation. The market gets a little bit less frothy leading into the halving. Because, guys, you know what that means. We start to trade sideways here. The RSI comes down. The frothiness goes away. Sets us up for a much longer and higher bull market. That's what we want. Higher for longer. But I am also want to emphasize right now, just because I'm thinking that we could potentially come further down, doesn't mean that I'm exiting all the markets. No. I right now, seeing Solana play out the way that it is right now, making its move to the upside while Bitcoin was crashing. I don't really like using the word crashing, but dumping. It was coming down. It's selling off. Seeing Solana make this move to the upside is a sign of a rotational market. Is a sign that the altcoins could potentially, this has become a meme too, go into an alt season. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, but a little mini bull market in the pre-halving year. It could happen here, guys. But if we do see the altcoins start to spill over, then, well, what do we see? A 50% drawdown on altcoins, maybe? If you were buying in the bottom, who really cares? The risk to reward ratio of selling altcoins right now is probably not in your favor. Not financial advice, but I just give you guys my opinion. I put my money where my mouth is. And I just don't think it's really a good idea to be selling altcoins right now when, especially if you were buying them, I was buying Solana at $8, selling it now with a potential chance of a 50% drawdown to say like $120 to even lower, like $80 versus a 10x from here. It doesn't really make much sense. I do want to take a look at the monthly returns for Bitcoin, the historical returns. Because right now, it would make sense. It would make sense to see this pullback. It would make sense. Right now, guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If March closes positively, this is the most consecutive bullish months in Bitcoin's history. Very incredible stuff. It would make sense to get a little bit of a reset pre-halving. And if maybe we don't get it, maybe we bounce up here in March, but it's starting to look like that we're starting to lean into this cool-off period. And sure, the bottom could be in. That could have been just a flush out, but these aren't wicks anymore. These are candle body closes. A little more strength to the downside here. Like I said, don't panic. It's something that we could really use to send us further and higher for longer, to have a real big bull market. But guys, be patient. We have to be paying very close attention to the altcoins to see if they continue to make their moves to the upside. Start to see some rotation from the money out of Bitcoin into some of these altcoins. I think that there's a good chance that we see that play out. But until then, hopefully we can just cool off, reset the RSI, get that fear and greed index down a little bit, and then we can set up for a larger move to the upside. But if you like this type of content, guys, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel right now. Also, check out some awesome referral links we have down below. A $4,100 sign-up bonus to Femex. All you got to do is click the link, deposit, trade a little bit, get a bunch of free money. Also, go follow me on Instagram at 333Blacksea. When I reach 100 followers, I'm going to give away $100 worth of Crow coin to one of you followers. It's a good chance. Check it out. That's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.